everybody, and welcome back to Code with Marley. Well, let's just continue where we left off last time, which is here at the IoT cloud. So, let's jump in. First, so if, and then we have else, if not has first, if not has first equals true. So if it's not true yet, then, and this is in the void that is automatically made on altitude change, then, well, pretty much that means that we have not, if it equals false, that's what we want to know. If it equals, well, actually, we'll just write if it's equal to false. So, but don't put the exclamation mark here. That would mean that if it's equal to true. So anyways, we have if has first equals false, which it is, then we want the previous altitude to be equal to the current altitude. So what was it here? That's how you spelled it. Let's see. Altitude, like that. And now we are pretty much done. But if we've already done the first time that it's changed, then we have then we need to do another
it's 15:30.
We need to do another if else statement, which is if else if, and then so if the current altitude, if the current altitude, oops, it needs to be inside the brackets, dead outside the brackets. If the altitude that's currently is greater than the previous altitude, then that means that we've already done, that means we've already, we pressed that we want to go higher up, not lower. Which means if the altitude, then what we want to do is we want the motors, the front and back motors, and the right and left motors. So, well, if they're all, then we want them all to turn on a little tiny bit, barely though, okay? Well, actually, we only want the front and back motors, yeah. So right now we have the front, if the front and back motors, actually, I don't think you can have dashes. I think dashes don't work. I'll just do underscores only. Front, back, underscore motors. I think I should do an S here too because it's motors. If the motors are what we want to set them to, oh no, we want to go digital right actually. No, analog right. That there as, let's see, how much do we want? We want it to, I think about, well, actually, I'm going to do a little one here, and I'm going to put a quick comment that you need to change these accordingly. Change accordingly. If I spelled that completely right. Accordingly. Change accordingly. These ones here. And don't change with that. Now, the ones that we want to change accordingly are hashtag define the speed up, which means how much faster we want the motors to do to go up. That there is, you need to change accordingly because yours might be bigger than mine, or yours might be heavier than mine because you're not using the same material. And that's why it depends. So, speed up, I guess we should do something like 50. Now, 100 I think should be good for me. 100. And change it by 100. And then Well, actually, I want them automatically to be 100, because that there should keep it at the same pace. That way we can also make it go down, okay? Because we also want them to go down, which means we want it to automatically be 100. Oops. No. Don't tell me that this was not saved. Phew! It auto saves. That's great. Now, in the beginning, we actually want it after the delay and all of this Arduino cloud stuff. We want, and this is the setup, by the way. Hashtag include net.h. Oh my goodness, I don't even need that net.h thingy anymore. Here we go. Then in here, we're gonna write analog write the pin front back motors. Front and back. Well, actually, I'm just gonna go 2 for now because actually that's already past here. But that's okay. Now we want this automatically to be something like 100. That way we can also go down. And this is going to be 200 then. 200, and also we want a delay time to be changed to volt 2. So we're gonna have to also have hashtag define delay time. And I'll just write delay time. And the delay time, I'm gonna do something like 100 and no 200, 350 I think should be good. 350 milliseconds should be good. Delay time. And the reason why I'm actually having these in separate things is because you can download this code right here, and this you can download that, and then I'm gonna have in a separate part put this there. But that's why I want it like, that's why I'm having these comments, because I want you guys to change it accordingly as to your plane or whatever. Then after the delay time, we have analog write the front and also, by the way, if it changes while you're still typing, that's probably because it's saving what's before, and then it goes right back to what it just now saved. Back motors, and the front and back motors, they're gonna be 100 like before. And actually, I want another one up here to be hashtag define. Let's see. We want, and this is also changing accordingly. So hashtag, like that. Change according to your plane. There we go. And the ones that we do want to change according to the plane is hashtag define the, what should we call it? This one is going to be the default speed motors. And this is going to be 100 for, 100 for me. See how it just changed and then came back? It's probably because it was saving, and it's going back to what was saved. And this is going to be default speed motors. Default speed. Wait, actually default like that? That turned, okay. Speed motors. Does that turn? Wait. Wrong spelling. Default. Make that capital L U A F E D. Well, that there didn't turn anything color. Just made me gonna have to go put testing. D default. Okay, yeah, that's right spelling. Just because it's probably there, so it's not turning that color. So we have default speed motors, and over here we have default speed motors. Okay, now we're pretty much ready here to do the other part, which is actually going to go quite simple. And I know the code's not that fun right now, but it's going to get fun. Promise you, okay? Now this is going to go back to 0, and then delay time, default speed motor. So there we go. That was quite quick. And look, this time though, if it's less than. So there we go. Now we are pretty much done. There we go. Now we are done with the altitude change. And now let's go to the dashboards and make this a little funner. So I already created a new one called controller. And I'm going to go in edit mode, add, and we're going to add the stepper here. Now I'm going to call this the altitude, of course. Altitude. And a colon. Then we want to link it, of course, to a variable. This is going to be called altitude again. And right now there's nothing on it. So the max speed, the max altitude that we want is 300, and this is going to be in centimeters. So altitude in centimeters, not in inches. And one step goes that much. Max is 300. Okay, done. And now we want this to be already a value now, but we can always test this out. But since we're already here, I decided that I could also already move this. And if you want to move things and it's not working, press this button here first. Then it will be movable. And you can also resize them, kind of. That looks good enough, I say. Now we want to lock that into, no, I think I want to do it more to the middle, like that. Now we can lock that in place. Done. And we can add a button. This one is going to be called left turn. And we want to link this to, we didn't make that variable yet. We didn't make the left and right variables yet. So this is going to be in nothing right now. We can add that later. So add another push button called right turn. Not E. Come on, E. Done. And now arrange them to be like this. And here we go. And I know they have maps, which is quite cool, which is what we are going to add. So we're going to go down here and we have map here. And that's actually quite cool. But I still don't know how to hook up a map. Still learning, just like you. I am not an expert. Nobody that's been practicing for years and so on. Only 1 year, actually. Compare that to some other people that I talk on the forum page where you can ask questions. But if you do have a question, let me know instead, and if I don't know it, I'll figure it out, okay? Because I just don't want you guys getting in trouble for talking with other adults about things. Anyways, you can also just add the whole main plane, create widgets, and here we go, the altitude, done. Which is quite cool, but actually, I do not want it to be like that. I want it to be a stepper, where you can change that, stuff like that. Now back to things, and main plane, now since we already have the altitude, we also need left, yeah, I think that should be good enough. And this is going to be a boolean, because we want it to be, let's just go E. Boolean, that there were two, but they automatically do bool. That's why I recommend using bool too. Boolean doesn't work as good. They're still working on that, I guess. On change, the same thing with right. Set this to a boolean, and guess what variable? I'm just gonna switch this around to something. Okay, so guess what the settings are going to be? Well, definitely that's going to be right. Boolean, read and write again. Add variable, and boom. On the sketch, we already have this, but we're going to do that soon. In the next video, actually. And I know this one's a little more boring, but... Yep. Well, I'm going to have a cooler music, actually. As the more levels go, have you noticed that as you go through the levels, the music is changing, and the beginning and the ending too? Well, if you haven't, then, well, that's a little different. Anyways, we're going to go back into here, and, well, we have buttons. We can change this up and down. I'm going to have it automatically to 0 because we're not anywhere we want it to go. Let's say that we want to be 11 centimeters above the air. Now, oops, a tree's in the way. I'm going to turn left, and now another tree. Go back onto the main path. Oh no, there's another tree on the middle of the way, so I'm going to go around it. But now, let's say that there's a big wall covering the whole world all around, and I can't get around it, so I'll have to use a handy tool. Go up and go back down. And that means you can go over things too, which is great. So now we can turn left, turn right, and choose the altitude. But that's not completely done yet, though. So anyways,
it's 15:45.
Let's connect these back to edit mode. Choose this, edit settings, and link it to link variable to left turn, and choose left. Done. Now we can go left now, and right turn. Now we can press on the right turn variable. Edit settings, linked variable. This is going to be to the right, and there we go. Now we can edit the code. Back to the code. Back to a little boringness. Not too boring though. Happily. Now, when it is on the left, all we want to do is we want to turn the right engine more. That way the plane tilts. Did you know that most planes, they tilt to turn? So if I were a plane here flying, my mouse was a plane here, and it's flying. Now it wants to turn left. It wants to go to the analog right thing there. That code right there. So that means it's gonna tilt to the left. That way it can easily go there. Now since it's heading this direction, it can stop. Now it needs to turn to the right, so it's gonna tilt to the right. So there we go. Now to tilt, I'll show you exactly what to do. First of all, if left, let's see, was this capital or lowercase? Yes, that's lowercase. So if left is equal to, if it's true, so if you're pressing it, then that means that we want to start tilting, which means the right motor needs to go on. So digital right, I think I want to do it analog right, analog right, the right motor, the right motor, is that how he spelled it? Yes, right motor and left motor. Okay, so the right motor, I don't want it too much, that's why I'm using analog right. So we're going to do 400, I think would be good. Now, we can go else, which means otherwise. We can go, now we can go analog right it to the right underscore motor. Now we can take the right motor and put it back to 0. And now I can copy the exact same thing and put it into the right change. Then we can set this instead to the right motor. We can go left motor and left motor. There we go. So now we got the right and left movement done. And we can also open up the full editor, which is a lot easier, which I actually like some more. Close you. And we have different things. Secret. And this here is some secret data that you can store that you want to keep secret. That way nobody else can use it. the code, and I want to turn off my little Grammarly thingy. Disable until next visit. Got it. There we go. Now we are pretty much done for this. Now secret SSID, secret pass, secret device key. That's what the secret tab is for. We have thing properties net.h, which is actually not going to be here. And let's change this. License, public domain, project, subscriber project, blah 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 blah. Don't want to go into that. Now we got the editor here, which I actually like a lot more because, well, it looks more like a real editor, full screen, and you can even include libraries. If you go here, we can go to libraries and defaults, custom, which are actually quite cool. You can upload your own very custom libraries, which is quite cool. So let's go back to the default ones are actually right here, and you can download whatever you want, just like the library manager tool. And this is not even half of them. Probably not even a quarter of all the libraries that there are. There are, I'd say, millions. Not billions, because that would take 32 years if you're going to count to 1 billion, okay? Now let's go back to the editor, like this. And I think we're actually done for today. So let's go back to the Arduino IoT Cloud, go to dashboards, controller. So now we can turn right and turn left. And the thing is that we just need to hook this up to this in real life with this looking down, shift N, with this thing looking down, and then we're pretty much done. Well guys, see you next time. Bye! I know this one was boring. Next one's going to be a lot funner. We're going to be cutting wood, doing all kinds of different stuff. See you guys next time. Bye!